Everyone. So this should be a part for the module 1 for the contemporary world, no? So we will start off with the module 1, which is of course the introductory to the subject, and of course the topic would be all about the concepts of globalization, which is of course the structures. Now, okay. So, we will proceed now on the introduction on the contemporary world. Okay, first off, what is meant by globalization? Or, ang ika nga, ano nga ba ang globalization? According dito, globalization represents the global integration of international trade, investments, information, technology, and cultures. Now, government policies designed to open economies domestically, internationally, to boost development in poorer countries, no? So, and raise standards of living for their people and are what drive globalization. No? So, ano yan eh? Let's say, it talks more on the economic side. No? Hindi lang yan economic. Later on, as we progress with our lectures, we will discover na hindi lang siya about economy, but also we will talk about the media, how the media affects the globalization, how the music, and everything in between, no? So, yon. However, these policies have created, no, an international free market that has mainly benefited multinational corporations in the Western world to the detriment of the of smaller businesses and cultures and common people. Now, also we will talk about the multinational corporations later on dito sa klase, dito sa ating lecture series. And when you say multinational corporations, ito yung mga gaya ng McDonald's, KFC. By the way, this is not sponsored, no? So, uh, yes, yung mga ganun. They are what they call it the multinational corporations. Also, yung mga smaller businesses and cultures itself. Okay, breaking down the globalization. Now, through globalization, corporations can gain competitive advantage from lower operating costs and access to new raw materials and additional markets. In addition, multinational corporations can manufacture, buy, and sell goods worldwide. Okay, example natin, no? A Japan-based car manufacturer, be it be Suzuki, Toyota, ano pa ba? Subaru, you have Mitsubishi, of course, can manufacture auto parts in several developing countries, ship the parts to another country for assemble and sell the finished cars to any nation. Like for example, yung Toyota. Now, Toyota has its main plant in Japan. Pero it has many parts or its parts o yung ibang parts ng kanilang sasakyan can be manufactured in Japan also, kaya lang different region or anywhere in the world. For example, dito sa Pilipinas, I think meron tayong planta ng Toyota dito sa Pilipinas. I think it's in Santa Rosa. No, you have also Ford. You have yung sa US, no? And other cars like Honda, may mga variants sila dito, may mga planta sila dito na ginagawa din. Now, globalization is not a new concept. Hindi siya bagong concept lang, no? In ancient times, panahon pa ni Kopong-Kopong, traders traveled vast distances to buy rare commodities such as salt. Naman natin na ang asin is medyo needed, no? Spices. And of course, more importantly is the gold. Now, which they would then sell in their home countries. Now, dito sa Pilipinas, no? If you think globalization happened in the Philippines, yes, it did, pero isipin natin, no, even during the time, even bago pa ma-discover ang Pilipinas, may trade relation na ang Pilipinas. Sa kanino? We have the Arabs, no, from the Middle East. And of course, whether we like it or not, we have been a trading partner of China since time immemorial, no? Like panahon pa na bago dumating sila Magellan, may trading partner na natin ng China. So, ika nga nila, looks like we have no choice. Pero the truth is, of course, yun din ang pinaglalaban din ng China na medyo, ano no, they are trading partners with us even all throughout the history. Now, the 19th century Industrial Revolution brought advances in communication and transportation. Now, that have removed borders and increased cross-border trades. In the last few decades, globalization has occurred at an unprecedented pace. Okay, kasi alam naman natin, as technology advances, no, it can it can be brought down into several, ano, di ba? Like, for example, if you look at the mobile phones, oh, ang dami ngayon naglalaban, pero majority, it's between the battle of Samsung and Apple, di ba? So, kung titignan ninyo, and even in the communication process, ganun din, no? Okay, public policy and technology are the two main driving force behind the current globalization boom. Over the past 20 years, governments worldwide have integrated a free market economy system. Through fiscal policies and trade agreements, this evolution of economic systems has increased industrialization and financial opportunities abroad. Government has now focused on removing barriers to trade. We will talk about trade barriers later on, no? And promoting international commerce. Of course, ika nga, hindi kikita ang isang bansa kung walang, ano, di ba? Walang trading partner. Now, technology is a major contributor to globalization. Alam naman natin na when it comes to technology itself, as being advanced, eh, nagiging contributor siya sa globalization. Now, advancements in IT and the flow of information across the borders have increased awareness among population of economic trends and investment opportunities. Technological advancements such as digitalization has simplified and accelerated the transfer of financial assets between countries. Now, kung titignan natin kasi, ano, yung technology kasi could play a great role in terms of how we develop. Okay, the broader meaning of globalization. Now, segue muna. When you say kasi dito sa contemporary world class, we will talk about the globalization every now and then. No, so medyo konting patience lang kasi we will talk about the globalization anytime, anywhere. Now, when you say globalization, it is also a social, cultural, and political and legal phenomenon. In terms of social, globalization represents greater interconnectedness among global population. Parang interconnected tayo, no? Kahit ibang lahi ng, let's say, magkaiba man tayo ng lahi, eh, interconnected pa rin tayo. Oh. Culturally speaking, globalization represents the exchange of ideas and values among culture, and even a trend towards the development of a single world culture. Okay, let's talk about the Korean pop or yung K-pop. Nagsimula lang yun sa Korea, di ba? Mm-hmm. Tama. And then of course, nag-boom na siya anywhere around the world. You have seen many fans around the world, hindi lang naman sa Pilipinas, but you can also see them anywhere, no? Like US, like Japan, or kung saan man. they still accept the fact that the Korean pop music is becoming more and more popular. So that is how globalization works then in terms of cultural. Okay, now politically, globalization has shifted countries' political activities to the global level through intergovernment agencies like yun nga, the United Nations and the World Trade Organization, which with regards to law and globalization has altered how international laws is created and enforced. Now kasi when it comes to uh, politics, in terms of globalization, dyan papasok yung international law. Okay, the structures of globalization. So, first, the world economy. The world economy or global economy is the economy of the world. Yun na nga. Medyo confusing? I hope so. So, considered as the international exchange of goods and services that is expressed in monetary units of account or money. In some contexts, the two terms are distinguished. So, the international or the global economy being measured separately and distinguished from national economies, while the world economy is simply an aggregate of the separate measurements beyond the minimum standards concerning the value in production used and exchange. The definition, representations, models, and valuations of the world economy vary widely. Now, it is inseparable, okay, from geography and ecology of Earth. Now, this is the 20 largest economies with regards to pie charts. No? As you can see, major players to ha, you have the United States, you have China, you have Japan, which are the top three, of course, na largest economies. But right now, itong China ang nangunguna. Sumusunod na yung United States. And of course, you have Japan, Germany, UK, Europe, France, as they say. You have India. Actually, if you notice, we will also talk about the economy of India later on in the future module. Sa mga susunod pa module, makikita natin yan. We will talk about how India, no, is now rising in terms of economy. Remember, ang kanilang it's the BPO industry and then the technology. No, doon sila gaano kumikita ngayon. Like for example, sige, try nyo mag-search ngayon sa YouTube ng mga tutorials. Okay, nakuha nyo na? Kung ano mga klaseng tutorials yan? No? And then, particularly is technology. Now, once you've entered the search button or click enter, na kung ano man yung mga tutorials na nakikita nyo, the first three or four videos you will see are from India. Kasi ganyan ka yung mga Indians no? Mga Indians when it comes to technology. Talaga makikita mo kung paano yung ginagawa na kaya medyo advance sila. And of course, you have Italy, Brazil, Canada, South Korea. Yan, medyo lumalaki rin yung yon. Although, honestly, sa panahon ngayon, medyo nag-decline ng konti ang economy natin gawa nga ng, of course, the coronavirus. No? So, hindi ko alam kung ano nangyayari ngayon, pero hopefully magkaroon na rin tayo ng mga vaccines. No? Okay, let's talk about the global economy. It is common to buy clothing anywhere in the United States which has a tag labeled made in Malaysia, China, or Sri Lanka. Now, of course, when it comes to clothing, manufacturing, when it comes to clothing, Malaysia, China, and Sri Lanka, or even Bangladesh, are the number one producer of clothing. Like, by the way, ika nga nila, there was a joke nga daw na, sabi nga, God made the world, and the rest is, of course, made in China. Okay, simple observation reminds us that our consumption of goods has a strong international character, increasing through to speak not only of national economies but a larger, highly interconnected and interdependent global economy. Before discussing basic mechanism of industrialization and economic change within the third world, it is important to look at the broader global industrial environment within which these nations are forced to compete. Now, setting the stage, the origins of global economy. 1970, the world economy hit by turbulent forces. Unemployment in Western countries. Traditional industries like iron and steel have declined. LDCs bearing huge financial debts which threaten drive for development, and trading tensions have emerged between industrial countries and the newly industrializing countries. Like for example, right now there's a trade tensions between China and the United States. Hindi natin alam kung ano mangyayari. The causes of this condition? Some argue that the continuing OPEC escalation of oil prices through the limited production is root cause. Had some effect but too simple an answer. More profound change in world economic structure were underway before this, an increasingly growing consensus that world economy has become more volatile, complex, and tightly connected. Now, countries affected by what is happening abroad and at a larger geographical scale. Now, internationalization of trade and labor, as with the Japanese autos, American computers, and Taiwanese calculators, there is an emergence of a new international division flavor. Basically, a change in geographical pattern of specialization at a global scale, constantly changing and very dynamic. For example, movement of textiles and shoe production from Indonesia to China. Minsan kasi, pagka nauubos yung sources sa isang bansa, they move from one place to another. No? I think parang dito sa Pilipinas, meron na yatang isang nag-move na company, no? Kasi medyo humihina na rin yung kita dito sa Pilipinas. Like, recently nag-layoff sila. If you've heard about yung nangyari sa Wells Fargo dito sa Pilipinas, yung branch nila dito sa Pilipinas, nag-decline yata. No? Nag-lay off sila rin ng mga workers. Now, International Division of Labor. Now, the division of labor has taken on spatial dimensions. Some areas come to specialize in certain types of economic activity. At the broad scale, industrialized countries or manufactured goods, while non-industrialized countries, which is the raw materials. However, these simple patterns no longer exist. Now, much more complex structure involving fragmentations of many processes and their geographical locations on global scale. Pare, ganito no, gaya nga sa kotse, yung main factory or main plant can be found in Japan, let's say Japan, then some parts of the cars are even made outside of Japan. Another example is computers. If I recall, meron kasi ako dating laptop which is Toshiba and kasi medyo luma na rin, no? So, in-scrap ko na siya. Nung pagka-open ko nung mismong computer, which is of course yung hinanap ko yung mga hardware niya, I noticed na yung hard disk was made in the Philippines. No? Nakakatuwa din na we have factories here from nagaling sa ibang bansa na dito sila base kasi we have highly skilled workers. No? So, ang ginagawa lang natin, although sila na yung nagpo-provide ng plant, ang Pilipinas naman nagpo-provide ng labor o yung mismong manual labor o yung mga tao. Now, forces surrounding global system of production. So you have these five factors are affecting production patterns. Now, you have the transnational or the multinational corporations, firms that operate in many nations. Now, increasing these firms have local productions and suppliers that operates across national borders, providing securing labor, capital, and other resources from a various place, and which have become the very powerful and important influence in global economy. Now, meron ako ibibigay sa inyo na activity that you can pass to me online or kung pwede man. Hindi ako magsiset din ng deadline, basta you can pass it to me. And doon sa module na ilalagay ko rin, nandun na sa module yung instructions. And then, ano lang, no? You have to identify na lang, no? Okay. So, sequential models of TNC development. No, hindi ito yung TNC na internet shop or yung gaming. Na stage 1, you have this serve domestic market only. Stage 2, export to overseas markets through independent channels. And stage 3, establish sales outlets in overseas markets by acquiring local firm or setting up new facility. And established, or stage 4, establish production facility overseas by acquiring local firms or setting up new facility. Now, for example, no, Starbucks. No? Starbucks has its own company that was based in the United States, particularly in Seattle, Washington. Now, they export overseas markets, no, through independent channels or yung mga sales agent. Kaya meron din tayong Starbucks Philippines. No? Kumbaga, nagkakaroon din sila ng branch dito. Now, from there, magkakaroon naman sila ng mga franchises. No? Magkakaroon sila ng sales outlet overseas markets, no, by acquiring a local firm. So, isang local firm, then yung local firm na yun will distribute the franchise all throughout the entire, siguro sabihin natin Philippines, and then dun na. No? So, ganun lang. Yun ang nangyayari. So, these are the geographical growth of multinational corporations. You have the basic enterprise. You have the um, penetration of national market. Then you have the penetration of the foreign markets and the multinational corporations. So the forces surrounding the global system of production, you have national governments through their industrial trade and foreign policies, especially liberalization policies. Now, liberalization refers to the way in which policies facilitate and transactions or trade and sales of variety of products and services. Now, the regulation of refers to the easing of taxation, entry, and pricing of production or services dictated by the government policy. Then privatization refers to the ownership of the former public sector operations and firms by private corporation and enterprises. Three, enabling technologies, transport, communication, and production, and organizational improvements. So, explosion of enhanced transport and communication services such as air cargo, integrators, offering definite time delivery. Like, for example, FedEx, UPS, DHL, mga ganun. So, di ba, when you um, ordered something, no, na nanggagaling pa sa ibang bansa, sila yung mismong nag-carry or nagdi-deliver. So from there, ita-transfer nila yun sa then of course, yung product from the country of origin pupunta yan dito sa Pilipinas. Now, advanced inventory management such as just-in-time or JIT and new systems of distribution such as third-party logistics. Now, also we have the emails and electronic data interchange. So, yung mga just-in-time and its logistics Like for example, delivery units, then production units, warehouse, then production units for finished goods. So parang ganito lang yan, no? If you notice sa mga online shopping, from one shop, i-deliver nila yon sa mismong ano, logistics facility ng mismong market, say Lazada. So, small market, then sa main branch ng Lazada, then from Lazada, didiretso nila yan sa kanilang courier, and then from their courier, di-deliver na lang yan sa mismong customer. So, ganun lang, di ba? Although kasi dito, it's more on assembly line. So, if you look at the data itself, the percentage of product shipped for just-in-time manufacturing, medyo lumalaki. Now, not unless kung gaya ng ibang logistics company na in-order mo maayos, darating sa'yo na medyo, alam nyo na. Okay. So, number 4 is shift in market conditions and demand. So, economic cycles affect markets and productions like the Asian financial crisis. Dramatic change in demand affect over time influence type of good being produced and production schedules. Application of new technology can mean product obsolescence, and these changes can be described in part through product life cycle. So essence of PLC is that growth in sales of product follows systematic path from initial introduction to market through development, growth, and maturity. Decline and obsolescence. So yan yung product life cycle, no? First is you have the stage 1, research and development, stage 2 is growth, stage 3, maturity, and stage 4, decline. So cellular phones of Nokia, for example. The evolutions of basic cellular phones are example of a product which is, is especially applicable to the notion of the product life cycle. Phone to color enhancement to camera and to email device. Like for example sa sa iPhone, no? Nagsimula lang yan sa isang maliit na hanggang sa ngayon medyo nagiging improve na ang iPhone. 'Di ba? Pamula sa basic na lock, sa security, phone security hanggang sa umabot na tayo sa point na facial recognition na yung pag-open ng mobile phones, especially sa iPhone, no? Kung dati thumbprint lang, ngayon facial recognition na, 'di ba? Baka susunod niyan is um, yung iba pang bagay na medyo nag-ano lang din. So, yan yung financial centers. And the global production chain and networks, you have production chain, you have materials, procurement, transformation, marketing, and sales distribution, and service. So, transactionally linked sequence of function where each stage adds value to the process of goods and services production. Two aspects important, coordination and regulation, and geographical configuration. Production chains may be localized by increasingly are global in scale to take advantage of international division of labor. So, for example, yung Kia, assembled in South Korea, Kia Sorento clears example of global supply chain. Uses 30,000 parts from all over the world. Parts shipped from places as diverse as Wales, sa United Kingdom, and Mexico. But very risky. No? Wars in Iraq and piracy in Malacca Straits, and demonstrates surprising adaptability due to advanced planning, multiple sourcing of parts, and ability to shift routes on short notice. Communicates regularly with suppliers at least once a week. Order several months in advance. If necessary, use air freight instead of sea freight. greater demands for forced Kia to air freight airbags from Swedish company which makes them in the United States, and greater experience of trans-Pacific flight better than slowing down the production line. So if you'd notice how Kia parts o keeps its auto parts flowing, ganyan yung flow na kanilang um, yung kanilang ano. Although this is the Kia Sorento. So basically, this ends the lecture for this module, and for your activities and other learning materials, it can be found in your module, and hopefully na ano rin to, no? So that will be all for today, and I'll see you on the next part of the lecture series, no? So that's all for today.